For settings and tools, we shall start with changing the company info and posting method. To change the company information or posting method, select Maintain Company Information from the menu bar to open the Maintain Company Information window. To change your company information, edit the corresponding field or fields of information in the upper section of this window. Then click the OK button in the toolbar of this window to save your changes. Also notice that the directory field in this window shows the folder location of the current company file. To change your posting method, click the Posting Method gray arrow button in the Maintain Company Information window to open the Posting Method dialog box. Then select either the Real-Time Posting or Batch Posting option button. Then click the OK button in the Posting Method dialog box. To save your posting method change, click the OK button within the toolbar at the top of the Maintain Company Information window. Posting and unposting. To post transactions if using real-time posting, click the Save button within a transaction form to instantly post it to the appropriate journal, and then to the general ledger. Alternatively, to post transactions if using batch posting, select Tasks, System, Post from the menu bar to open the Post window. Check all the journals from which to post transactions by clicking them to put a check mark in the checkbox next to the name of the journal. Then click the OK button to post the transactions from the selected journals to the general ledger. To unpost journal entries posted to the general ledger if using batch posting, select Tasks, System, Unpost from the menu bar to open the Unpost window. Then check the journals from which to unpost the transactions by clicking them to place a check mark in the checkbox for the journal. Then click the OK button to unpost the information back to the selected journals from the general ledger. Memorized transactions. To create new memorized transactions, select Maintain Memorized Transactions from the menu bar. Then click the type of memorized transaction to create from the side menu of choices that appears. To create a new memorized transaction of the selected type if needed, click the New button in the Windows toolbar. Then enter the information you want to appear whenever you select the transaction in the future. You do not need to enter information into every field. After creating the memorized transaction, click the Save button in the Windows toolbar to save it. To use the memorized transaction in the future, open the task window for the type of memorized transaction you created. Within the task window, click the drop-down button next to the List button in the toolbar at the top of the window. Then click the Select button in the drop-down menu that appears. Sage 50 then shows the memorized transactions you created in the Select Memorized Transaction dialog box. Select the memorized transaction to use in this dialog box, and then click the OK button. The information from the selected memorized transaction then appears in the task window. You then just need to enter any unique information required to complete the transaction. To save the new transaction when finished, click the Save button in the Task Windows toolbar. Using the Purge Wizard. To purge your company file, select Tasks, System, Purge Wizard from the menu bar to open the Purge Wizard welcome screen, which shows the most recently closed fiscal and payroll years. Like any other wizard, you click the Back and Next buttons to step through the Purge Wizard, answering the questions and responding to the prompts. Click the Next button after reading the welcome screen to continue to the Backup Company Data screen, which lets you create 1 or 2 backup copies of your company file before proceeding. To include your company name in the backup file, check the Include Company Name in the Backup File Name checkbox. Then click the Backup button to select where to save the backup file. In the Save Backup As window, navigate to the folder where you want to save the file. To rename the file if desired, use the File Name field. Sage 50 provides a default name that includes the company file's name if you choose to include it, and the date. To save the file, click the Save button in the dialog box. Sage 50 then tells you the size of the backup file. Click OK in this message box to then start the backup. Don't interrupt the backup process, as doing so may corrupt the data. Click the Next button after making the backups to continue to the Old Transactions screen, which screen lets you select the transactions to purge. Enter the date on or before which transactions can be purged. In the Transactions list, select the transactions to purge and enter a date for unused time tickets if you select that choice. When finished, click the Next button to continue to the Account Reconciliation screen, which lets you select whether or not to perform account reconciliation. To perform account reconciliation, decide which accounts to reconcile before the purge. Select the Yes option to reconcile or select the No option to skip the reconciliation. If you select Yes, select the accounts to reconcile before purging. For each account category, double-click the back arrow to show a drop-down list of individual accounts. Unreconciled accounts will be marked by default. Click the checkbox to place a red check next to any accounts to reconcile. If an account is selected here, any transactions within the account that have not been reconciled, regardless of date, will not be purged. Click the Next button to continue to the Inactive Maintenance Record screen, which lets you decide the types of inactive maintenance records to purge. You can only purge inactive records if they are not used in transactions and also have zero balances. Select the checkboxes next to the types of inactive records to purge. When you are ready, click Next to continue to the Summary of Options screen, which shows a summary of the different purge options. If you are satisfied with the options, click the Begin Purge button to start the purge. If unsatisfied, click the Back button to return to the previous screens and change the undesired options. Then return to this screen and click the Begin Purge button. After clicking the Begin Purge button, a window appears to show the purge's progress. After the purge is complete, it shows a Purge is Complete message. To see a detailed log of the purge, click the Log button to open the log file in a new window, which you can close after reviewing it. To then close the Purge message window, click the Close button within the message window. Using the Year-End Wizard. To close your first open fiscal year, payroll tax year, or both by using the Year-End Wizard, select Tasks, System, Year-End Wizard from the menu bar. The first screen in the Year-End Wizard is the Welcome screen, which tells you the date range of the two open fiscal and payroll tax years. Click the Next button to continue to the Close Options screen, which asks which years to close. Depending on the available options, you can close either the displayed fiscal year, the displayed payroll tax year, or both. Both options may not be available, depending on the structure of your fiscal and payroll tax years. The wizard will tell you what it thinks is the correct choice.
Print payment.
Select the correct option, and then click the Next button to continue. If you still have unprinted items waiting to be printed for the year you are trying to close, Sage 50 opens the Unprinted Items window. You should print any unprinted items, as you cannot do this after closing the year. The next screen is the Reports screen. To ensure a proper audit trail for your company, Sage 50 strongly recommends printing all fiscal year-end reports. You can't do this after the process is completed. However, if there are any reports you don't want to print, you can deselect the Reports checkbox within the table in this window. When you click the Next button to continue, all the selected reports will print to your default printer. So, you should check toner and add paper if needed. If using Sage 50 Premium Accounting or higher, the next screen recommends you run the Internal Accounting Review. To run it, click the Internal Accounting Review button. Otherwise, click the Next button to continue. The Backup Company Data screen then appears. To make a backup, click the Backup button to open the Backup Company window. To be prompted to back up your files again in a specified number of days, click the Remind Me checkbox. To add your company name to the backup file name, check the Include Company Name in the Backup File Name checkbox. Click the Backup button to begin the backup. In the Save Backup As window, enter or select where to save the backup file. Sage 50 creates a backup file name using the date and the company name if you checked that option. To change this, enter a new name into the File Name field. Then click the Save button to make the backup. Then click the OK button in the message box to back up the data. Then click the Next button to continue. The next screen is the Archive Company Data screen. In this screen, you can choose to create an archive copy of your company data. To create an archive copy, click the Archive Company checkbox, and then enter the archive name as you want it to appear. Then click the Next button to continue. In the New Open Fiscal Years screen that appears, the wizard lets you review the accounting periods in your current open fiscal year and the next fiscal year. To restructure the company's next fiscal year for tax purposes if needed, change the date range of the accounting periods in that year. However, this is generally not necessary. If in doubt, check with your accountant before making the changes. You can click the Current Fiscal Year option to see the ranges of the current open fiscal year. You cannot change these dates. To see the dates of the accounting periods for the next fiscal year, click the Next Fiscal Year option to show the accounting periods for the next fiscal year. To change the end dates of any displayed accounting periods, click the accounting period to change. In the To column, type or select a new date. When you change the To field, the From date for the next accounting period changes to. Click the Next button to continue when finished. The Confirm Close screen that then appears confirms the years to close. If you think any of this is incorrect, click the Back button to find the previous screen where you need to make corrections, and then change the incorrect options. If things look correct, click the Next button to continue. In the Begin Close screen, click the Begin Close button to close out the year or years. After this process starts, however, it is imperative you do not disrupt it. Do not turn off your computer. This will take a while, so it is best to do this at the end of the business day. When finished, the Congratulations window appears, showing a summary of the information closed and the new accounting period information. To finish the process, click the Finish button. Data verification. You should only run the data verification utility on the advice of the Sage 50 customer support specialist. You should also always back up your data before running the data verification utility, because if this process doesn't complete successfully or locks up during the test, you could lose your data. If instructed to run the data verification utility on the advice of the Sage 50 customer support representative, open the company file, and then select File, Data Verification from the menu bar to open the Data Verification dialog box. Select the option button for the test or tests to run. Data Reliability, which checks for errors and repairs them if possible. Data Access, which checks the computer's ability to read and write data files, or both tests if needed. After making your selection, click the Start button to begin the tests. After making a backup, the Verification Progress window opens and shows the real-time test progress. It is recommended that you do not cancel this test until it is completed. If Sage 50 encounters any errors, it will try to fix them. If it cannot, it will display a message that tells you what to do next. After the tests successfully finish, a window appears to tell you the tests are complete. You can view the data verification error log from within this window if needed. You can then close the window. Update encryption. Before running the Update encryption utility, ensure all other users have exited the company file. To run the Update encryption utility in Sage 50, select File, Update encryption from the menu bar to open the Update encryption dialog box. Then click the Start button within this dialog box to begin the process. This may take a few minutes, depending on the size of your company file. The dialog box disappears automatically when it is finished. Data of the company. To archive a company file in Sage 50, select File, Archive Company from the menu bar to open the Archive Company dialog box. Sage 50 creates a default Archive Company file name for you within the Archive Name field, and you can change it if desired. Then click the Archive button in this dialog box to start the archive process. Click the Finish button to close the window when the archive process completes. The archive copies are saved into the Archives subfolder of your company files folder. Using and restoring an archive company. To open an archive copy of a company file, open the original company file and then select File, Open Archived Company from the menu bar. Then click the OK button in the message box that appears to tell you that doing this will close the current company file. In the Open Archived Company window that opens, select the archived company file copy to open. Click the OK button to open it, or click the Close button to close the window if needed. To restore an archive company from an archive backup, select File, Restore Archive from the menu bar to open the Restore Archive dialog box. Use this to navigate to the folder that contains the local archive backup file or files. Then click the Archive Backup file to select it. Then click the Open button in this dialog box to restore the selected archive copy from the backup file to its original location, and then open it within Sage 50 for use. Sharing a company in Sage Drive. To share a company file in Sage Drive, open the company file to share. Then select File, Sage Drive, Share Company from the menu bar to open the Sage Drive Share Company wizard. To sign in with an existing Sage ID for which the service has been activated, click the Sign In with your Sage ID button to then sign in within the Sage ID login window that opens. If you need to create a Sage ID, click the Sign Up Now link to do that first. To activate the Sage Drive service the first time, click the Activate It Now link to sign in with your Sage ID, and then enter the verification code that is sent to your email to create your secure storage area online and start the service. After signing in, click the Next button to continue to the Share and Upload screen. Here you can make a backup of the company file if desired by clicking the Create Backup button. Then verify that the company file shown is the company file you want to share. To share the company file shown, click the Share Company button to upload it to Sage Drive. Read the information in the Finish screen, and then click the Finish button to close it. Then read the information within the Welcome to Sage Drive window that opens, and click the OK button to close it when finished. A new Sage Drive Shared button also now appears in the upper right corner of the toolbar at the top of the navigation centers within Sage 50 when the shared company file is open. You can click this button to manage sharing the company file in Sage Drive, in addition to using the menu bar commands. Data of company in Sage Drive. Due to security of our account, we shall show these in a step format. To download a company in Sage Drive, open Sage 50 Accounting. Then select File, Sage Drive, download a Sage Drive company from the menu bar to open the Sage Drive Company Access wizard. In this window, sign in with your Sage ID and then click the Next button to continue. In the next screen, select the company file to download from the listing of available choices. Then click the Next button to continue. If downloading a company file you already have, you can click either the Open Company or Overwrite Company button to either open your local copy or overwrite your local copy. After the download completes, click the Finish button to unpack and open the company file in Sage 50. Managing user and file access in Sage Drive. To manage user access in Sage Drive with the shared company file opened in Sage 50, select File, Sage Drive, Manage User Access or Management Center from the menu bar to open the Sage Drive Management Center in a new web browser window and show the shared company file in Sage Drive. You can click the arrow next to the company name or names shown in this page to collapse and expand the list of users for that company. To show either the company files or the users within the list below, select either the By Company or By User option button in the upper right corner of the list of companies. Select the By Company option button and then click the name of the company to which you want to add a new user. To add a user, click the Add User button above the company file to open the Add User window. Then enter the user's name into the Name field, their email address into the Email field, and then select the user's access level from the Access Level drop-down. Then check the checkbox next to the company or companies in the list that then appears to which you are granting access to this user. Then click the Save button to add the user and send an invitation to them. After receiving the email invitation, they must click the link in the received email and sign in with their Sage ID to access the shared company file. To delete a user, select the By User option button in the upper right corner of the company list to show the users. Then click the name of the user you want to delete. Then click the Delete User button above the list. Then click the Yes button in the confirmation prompt window that appears to finish. Note that you can also use this same process to edit a selected user's information by clicking the Edit User button instead. When you have finished managing your users, you can close the web browser window. To pause company file sharing in Sage Drive, which prevents others from downloading the company file, select File, Sage Drive, Pause Sharing from the menu bar. Then click the Continue button in the Sage 50 message box to pause sharing the file. Then click the OK button in the message box that tells you to resume sharing to upload your changes when you are finished. To resume sharing when finished, select File, Sage Drive, Resume Sharing from the menu bar. Then click the OK button in the message box that appears to tell you that you have started sharing in Sage Drive again. To stop sharing a company file in Sage Drive, select File, Sage Drive, Stop Sharing from the menu bar. Then click Yes in the sharing warning message box to continue. Then click the OK button in the confirmation message box that appears. Finding transactions. To find transactions in Sage 50, select Edit, Find Transactions from the menu bar to open the Find Transactions window. In the 1 Select a Filter Range section, use the Date drop-down and the From and To fields to select a date range for the transactions. You can also use the Type drop-downs and the adjacent From and To fields if available to further select what to find for each filter shown below the date. After selecting what to find, then click the Find button in the To. Click the Find button to search for specific transactions section. Doing this then shows all the matching transactions within the third. To display a transaction listed below, double-click it or select the Detailed Toolbar button section. As the title of this section states, you can open a transaction in this list by double-clicking it or by clicking it to select it in the list, and then clicking the Detail button in the Windows toolbar. You can then close the transaction, which opens its respective task window. If needed to print a transaction, select a transaction in the list and then click the Print button in the Windows toolbar to print it. To reset the Find Transactions window, click the Reset button in the Windows toolbar. To close the window, click the Close button in the Windows toolbar. With this, we come to the end of this tutorial. Accountancy is all about expertise. Click on the link given below in the description for detailed consultancy. Please subscribe to our channel for more amazing videos and tutorials.